We are live. Mr. Clary, how has your Thursday been?
Productive. I'm
Productive.
sick. Yeah, I got a cold, but I think it's like the best cold I've had in a long time. I don't feel like sick or colds or chills. I just have a sore throat. That's it. And then a runny nose. And then I've even been getting good sleep. And then I went to one of my coffee stores and made great progress on the book. I almost wrote like an entire chapter in one sitting, which is
Awesome.
tremendous. Yeah, it's tremendous speed.
Look at the
And
dedication on this guy. He feels sick. He's
it's
been productive all day and he
It's
still
not.
comes here.
It's well. What are you supposed to do when you're sick? I mean, you've been sick before, right?
Yeah.
It's like being hungover. Look, you can feel like crap in bed, or you can feel like crap outside, or and get stuff done. I've never really understood the unless you're debilitatingly sick. But
Well,
if
no,
you
what
just
I'm
got a
saying,
cold, yeah.
well, it's like when I'm sick, sure, I can do work, I can do taxes, I can do emails, but I don't
Mm.
think if I had a cold, I could come on here because I just don't think I would do it, you know? I think I'd feel too
Oh
bad.
no, I just got a cough more than I normally do, and I'm not sure, but optimistically, I think I'm beating it. This is like day 3 of having the cold, and I feel better now, and I'm kind of hoping one more night of good rest, and maybe I'll be on the mend permanently tomorrow.
Just in time for the weekend. So,
Mm.
kids, real quick, tonight's beer is the Zombie. It's Three Floyds Zombie Ice. Three Floyds is it's a brewery out in Northwest Indiana, so it's actually pretty close to here. Um, they make uh they make one called Zombie Dust and another called Gumball Head, and I really like them. Like this is if you're a beer lover, these guys are good.
I There should be someone out there. Did I ever tell you about the art project I wish I had done back in college?
Hmm.
So
Mm-mm.
there's the Washington Avenue Bridge, and it connected the east and west banks of the campus. And this is before the internet, so people advertised their whatever show, seminar, whatever by flyer. And there were boards put inside the walkway of the bridge where you could post your flyers. And some of the I'm patrolling the bridge for years late at night. Some of the flyers were really good artwork. And I had the idea, I should grab like a really nice one and just put together a collage. And I never did that. And I wish I did. And then one of them, I don't know if you can see, I did save one or two ones behind me back there. And it was some really neat real world art of the 90s that I think would have made a great collage or something. So I'm wondering with the beer cans, is there someone who's putting together a coffee table book of all the beer artwork?
Not that I know of, but man, that is a pretty good idea.
It I don't know if it's feasible because you're going to need permission from every artist that drew a beer can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's just
You guys, the beer, it tastes really good. I've never had it before, and it's 8.5%. So let's just say I'm gonna be feeling pretty good pretty quickly.
good.
But that's how we
Good.
like it.
Hey, before I forget, have you thought about getting like an intro bumper to your show instead of us just going live? Have you thought about having some kind of video thing? You hit play and then we go live.
I keep forgetting to do that. But I
You're
think that's a
aware of
great
it
idea.
though.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. Everybody
Okay.
does. The Red Evening guys. I mean, I was just watching Rare, and Rare's little Let 'Em Burn thing. They do it.
Mm.
I frankly, I should be putting more effort into this, but
Is
yeah,
busy season? No, you got personal extensions.
it's going. It's
Yeah.
going. Yeah. One sec here.
There's a lot of things I should do that I don't. I'm surprised I replaced my new camera with my old camera, so we got the better quality.
It is better, man.
It's
It's a
way
lot better.
better, way better. Yep. So I'm glad we got it.
I wanted to run this by. We got a great topic tonight. Last week we were trying to determine if the IRS was racist, and now we're going to see if we would actually want to work for them. So, hence the shirt. I couldn't think of. um,
Ironically, you're for funding them. Like I know you're defund the IRS, but you'd have to get rid of the income tax to do that, right?
Exactly. So for me, it's a little bit like, you know how in DC, the politician, where everybody has these license plates that say taxation without representation. Have you
Right.
seen that before?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit like that. We're just saying it to be funny or ironically or
I
whatever.
wonder if the
Uh,
IRS is like the Joker to your Batman, like, yeah, or Batman to the, like, you wouldn't exist without it. You kind of need it, even though you're adversarial.
I'm the road runner and they're the coyote. That's
Right.
that's how I
Okay.
like to
Yeah.
see it.
No,
Yeah.
but you ever see that dark Family
Family
Guy
Guy.
take on
Yes.
that where he ends up hanging
Yes.
himself?
He's like he
Wow.
lost his he catches him, he eats him with his friend, and the friend's like, "What are you gonna do
What are you
next?"
gonna
He's
do
like,
now?
"I don't know." And he loses his purpose, becomes an alcoholic. He like has a shrine to the Roadrunner. He like kills himself. He's like, "So long, my friend."
Yeah. Not
That will
too
not be
unlike it.
me. I've said it 1,000 times. If there is a flat tax or a sales tax, I swear to you, I would be just fine with that. Just
I would be very happy as well.
fine. I wanted your opinion on this. I think I know what you're going to say, but
Mm,
I still want to see what you think. You know the whole story about how my dad had his practice, throughout the early 2000s up until about 20. Well, I mean, he officially retired in 2016, but we were collaborating a little bit, from 2013 onward. And I have only three holdover clients that were his long-term clients for
really? Because
years
they
and
were
years and
in
years.
person or something, or they
Yeah,
insisted on? Okay, all right.
yeah, family friends almost. Like, it just, they've known my parents forever since before I was born. So I took them on when he retired. Here's the problem, dude. They're all boomers, okay? And
Right,
I've said you
obviously,
need
yeah.
to avoid. I don't know if I've said this enough. You guys starting practices, try to avoid the boomer clients. I don't care if they have
Can you
money.
say that though? What about, I mean, because there's got to be some tech savvy boomers who want to do it online. I mean, the real principle is don't take clients who insist on meeting in person, regardless of their
Yes.
age. Right. Okay. That's the
Um
main thing. Because otherwise, you might get a discrimination charge against you.
Oh, well, okay. I'm speaking very, very general. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
not saying never take boomer clients. I'm just saying, like, similar to how I've said, try to avoid working with artists or actors and actresses.
Right. Yeah.
There's just
Okay.
certain demographics that it simply doesn't work for me.
Right. Okay.
So
You want to avoid the boomers,
yes, yes.
not the savvy one who's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay.
should
All right.
I should have said avoid the stereotypical boomers. How about
Okay.
that?
Yeah. All right.
Because there are
That's more
some that buck the
accurate. Right.
trend. I even
Yeah.
have some. Yeah.
They
But
exist.
there's these three holdovers, and I'm just going to be blunt. For years, I've wanted to cut them loose, just because they don't really fit the type of client I have. They're not great with technology. They were on this low fee structure with my dad for years, and
Mhm.
so I've kind of honored it. And every time I've gone and visited my parents, I've been like, I think I'm going to finally cut loose. So and so and so and so and so
Mhm.
and so. My mom's like, Chad, you can't do that,
What
and
kind of advice did your mom give you about dating?
oh, you saw that on Twitter.
No, I didn't. No, I want to know. I
Oh,
didn't see it on Twitter. I'm just wondering what kind of advice your mom gave you on dating.
she never gave me any advice, but she was always very upset when I would mention how there were too many overweight women out
Okay,
there
all right.
wandering
So
around in the
we're
world.
not going to listen to our mom on dating advice. I
Yeah.
got that. Should you listen to your mom about entrepreneurship?
No, but
Okay.
my question is, so look, they're always extending, which, I'm not a fan of that unless you really have to. And I was dealing with them coincidentally all throughout this week, these three holdovers.
Mhm.
It's like, man, I really, really want to cut them loose, and I need to cut them loose. I can't seem to do it without guilt. I still have some nice guy in
I was
me.
about to say, I remember
Help
Bad
me.
Chad. Do you remember Bad Chad from last week? He was all
I wish I,
bad,
I
had a
wish I
leather
could hang
jacket.
out with Bad Chad soon.
The collar was up, and he
Yeah.
sounded more Italian.
Well, then give me some mentoring on, because I just don't want to
What
deal
mentoring?
with it anymore.
What do you need a kick in the ass? What, I can't
Yeah.
mentor. I keep opening doors and nobody walks through them. Soon I'm not even going to open the doors. Just say, look,
Friends of your family that you've
I
known your whole life,
I
that
don't
type thing.
care.
You don't?
I've known my
Okay.
family my whole life, and sometimes
That's
like, I'm
true.
done dealing with you. Get the hell out of here. Uh,
Yeah, that's a good point.
just get rid of Wait, what did they
He was
say?
saying the Japanese refusal, and I've thought about that. I have.
No. Just get rid of them, because then you're okay. Your problem would be solved if they paid the Japanese refusal.
Yeah.
You'd still be in the same. Get rid of them. Just say, look, I'm doing
It's-
online only. I'm sorry. That's it. Or whatever. Like, I'm not doing, you're not even doing personal taxes anymore unless there's a corporate entity, right?
That's what I'm trying to basically set things up
Well,
like.
then
But I
do it.
mean,
And what about your old man? Can he handle them?
he's absolutely not doing tax
All
returns
right.
anymore. He's just like,
Okay.
fuck that shit. I don't blame him. God. So all right, that was just getting under my skin this week, and I'm doing it, and I'm gritting my teeth, and we're having all this back and forth. It's inefficient. One of them was a
Your
Karen, and
cortisol's
I'm just
up,
kind of
your
like,
life expectancy is going down, you're not having
yeah,
as much fun. Yes, get rid of them.
hmm. And I know that's the answer, but I don't know.
You don't hate them. You
No,
don't
no, no.
dislike them. You just don't. Yeah, you don't want to do business anymore. It,
Right. And
right.
it's gonna get and this, I know you're gonna say this doesn't matter. It's gonna get back to my mom and dad. I'm gonna get some kind of how could you have done that to them? And I just don't want to fucking hear it. That's part of why
Well,
I've just like
we
held on to this.
that uh, I don't know. Maybe I'm okay with pain and it's just my parents like, Aaron, I can't believe. I'd be like, shut up. What did I think I got mine. I should do a course while we're speaking of courses that aren't completed yet. While you're putting together your course, I should put a course on how to train your parents.
Yeah.
Cause I don't think they ever, I mean, going back decades, they knew maybe I was onto something long ago. And I have a good relationship with my parents. It's not like there was a falling out or
Yeah.
anything. There was just
I've met your
line. And
dad.
yeah, we hung out. He didn't hate me. I have no
No.
son. He didn't say that. Yeah.
He called me smart, so I was like, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's getting old and senile. But yeah, just say, Ma, Dad, my business, buzz off. I mean, it's I don't know.
uh,
Yeah.
Nick is Steve. No, they live in middle of nowhere, Texas, which there's just nothing about them that fits my profile. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to sack up. I'll be the villain, as Rareb says, and I'll just have to deal with it. But I was just thinking about this week. Why do I keep doing this year after year? I get nothing out of it. So yeah. Oh my god. I'm gonna read. That is crazy, Scott. I'm gonna Scott. I got some questions for you. Okay. Scott has his own
Oh, is he?
business, but
Yeah.
not anymore. Um,
What is he going to work for someone else?
not only someone else, the someone else.
Oh, well,
So,
based on the salaries they're offering, I could maybe understand.
and we are gonna get to the ups and downs of that, upsides, downsides. Clara, is your internet okay? Has it been okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Why? Am I coming in and out?
A little bit. Maybe it's mine. You're
Might
fine
be
now.
yours. I think I don't have anything showing up, but yeah, if it's bad, just let me
I
know.
think we're fine. I think we're fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right into super chats real quick because this is one of those where I want to spend as much time as possible on the topic.
Oh,
So let's just do these real quick here.
Jack Whittier, $5. Just started the H&R Block income tax course.
Awesome, man. I've had a, consultation with Jackson. Jackson, let me know how you like that. You can either say it in the chat or just shoot me an email because I'm always interested in opinions about this. I'll do this one. I'll go ahead and read your joke. He's like, I want to tell a joke. And I said, you should email it to me first. It's short, so I'll tell it. The joke is my father is going to be speaking tonight. He is an IRS agent. And I can tell you this yes, he does have a stick up his ass. And yes, it is government issued.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Thank you. Let us see more super chats. Jackson again.
Whittier again, $5. Chad should get Jeffrey Paul to write him a metal intro like he did for Terrence Pop and Hammerhand. Who's Jeffrey Paul? Is he a regular that makes the
I
rounds?
was going to ask you. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look him up, Jackson. Thank you. Super chat. We got next here. Oh.
No Days Off, $2. Cappy loved the recent Dave Ramsey episode.
I saw you did a long one video. I didn't get to watch it. You're against Dave Ramsey or in
No.
favor?
I'm not. No, quite the opposite. I'm very for him. His books, I would recommend them all the time in my finance courses because it was good work. It's a great way to get out of debt. He's spot on, but every once in a while, one of the call-in people will be some girl about marriage and The short version is he's from an older generation. I guess he has a very successful marriage, so and I guess she's hot, so I think he's biased to being pro-marriage, which, okay, maybe in 1963 it would be all right, and yeah, if your wife was like that, okay, but I think he's kinda out of touch, kinda like your mom, like, "Oh, there's just some good girls
Yeah.
out there." It's just like, you don't understand the times and so he was telling, I don't know, some woman that she should get a job, so she wanted to get married. The guy told her up front he didn't wanna get married.
Hmm.
He's like, "Whoa," because he immediately has to jump in, "The guy's wrong, he should get married, you guys have 2 kids together." I'm like, "Didn't the guy tell you he didn't wanna get married?" But she didn't listen anyway, so he told her to go get a job so she could argue from a position of power, and I'm like, and not take care of your kids?" And so, that one the only reason that one went long is because people kept throwing me super chats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
he's been around a really long
he's
time,
been a
right?
long, long time, yeah, at
Yeah.
least 20, 25 years, yeah, long time.
Okay. I'll read this one real quick. Nick and Steve. So you're doing the H&R tax course too. It's been just a review, but it's been good for learning how to fill out forms. Good. You
Mm,
guys know I don't really like H&R Block, but they are very good for this, for training and figuring out what to do if you don't have anyone to show you.
mhm.
So, and Darkman Jeff, hang around because we're going to go over whether the IRS is good or bad. And yes, Scott, I know that you are joining the dark side. So this will either make you happy or not so happy, but we'll see. And I'm really please email me. We got to talk about this. All right. Uh, I'm gonna read through a quick article here to set the table. I'm just gonna zip through it, and then we're gonna talk about this. So, okay, this is from the New York Post from September 18th, which is Monday. Somebody named Ariel Zilber wrote it. I looked them up; they didn't have any followers, so whatever. The title is IRS plans to hire 3,700 auditors to crack down on wealthy tax dodgers. Okay. The Internal Revenue Service is looking to hire an additional 3,700 staffers in hopes of rooting out wealthy Americans who are skirting their tax payments. The federal agency issued a statement on Friday saying that it plans to fill positions at more than 250 locations nationwide. So this is not in DC, this is everywhere. Quote, this next wave of hiring will help the IRS add key talent like tax accountants to help reverse a decade-long decline of audits for the wealthy, as well as complex partnerships and corporations, end quote, IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel said in the press release that was issued on Friday. The move comes a week after the IRS announced a quote, sweeping effort to restore fairness to the tax system by increasing scrutiny on high income partnership corporations and promoters abusing tax rules on the books. The IRS will intensify work on taxpayers with total positive income above $1 million that have more than $250,000 in recognized debt, the agency said in a statement. As
Why
part
the
of the effort,
debt? Why I'm kinda curious, the debt?
oh, the debt, yeah, because they wanna make sure that you're not, like, abusing the debt, like, that you're not just kinda taking money and using it for yourself instead of actually using it for
Oh, is
business
that where you
purposes. Yeah,
you borrow money, but it's not
yeah,
income? Okay, okay, I see
yeah.
what you're saying. Okay,
'Cause
that's
this
I
even
never
has
heard,
money
yeah.
laundering implications on it, so they wanna
Okay, alright.
really look at that,
Alright.
yeah. Quote, "As part of the effort, the IRS will all" okay, I'm sorry, this next quote is such bullshit, it is not true, but I'm gonna read it anyway. As quote, as part of the effort, the IRS will also ensure audit rates do not increase for those earning less than $400,000 a year, as well as adding new fairness safeguards for those claiming the earned income tax credit, the agency added. I've never read a bigger bunch of bullshit in my entire life. What we talked about the earned income tax credit
Let me
last
see if
week.
well, we talked about it yesterday, and then you've talked much about how they are gonna go below 400,000 because rich people are not stupid, and
Oh,
what is it called? The presumption or the current view that the common man has of rich people is that they're just not paying their taxes. It's like, no. 2 episodes
no.
ago, we talked about how
Yeah.
you can legally lower your taxes by passing on money. What was it? Buy, borrow, and die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. And so the commenter out there is like, oh, so those evil rich people, they're just cheating. It's like, no, they
No.
employ CPAs to make sure they follow the rules and the laws, and they still pay the majority of taxes, but they legally, in other words, they will be bulletproof, or maybe
Yeah.
not all of them if you're Mr. Wesley Snipes. But for the most part, they're going to have documentation. You're not going to be able to go after them.
Right.
They're not going to go after the poor people because there's no money in it for them. So they are
Right.
going to come after the middle income people because you don't have CPAs, you don't know how to follow the rules, and you're the only ones that got the money. So
Exactly.
they're gonna come from the middle America again.
Now, Claire, I'm not telling you this to scare you because I'm in this boat and a ton of other people are in this
Mhm.
boat. The structure that you and I have is no secret. We have S corporations, okay?
Correct.
This is just my prediction, but I think they're just going to heavily scrutinize S corporations, and I don't think they're going to care anything about the dollar amounts on those S
Okay,
corporations.
that's
There's
fine.
nothing. There's nothing you have to worry about
I know
because
why. You know why?
we do everything legally and how we're supposed to do it.
Because
That's why.
my CP is Chad Elkins. Even though you and my
Yes.
girlfriend have tried to get me to go to jail many times, I'm kind of appalled a couple times when we hang out with the GF. You two, you Hanyakers, you're always like, "Oh yeah, it's a tax deduction." I'm like, I don't think this is a tax deduction. No, yeah, and then you guys sound like the NBA dude, bro. No, because you saw an ostrich at the zoo once, and that's got the same color as the feather as the ostrich. You could write this off. I'm like, yeah,
Do
I
you
don't think
remember
so.
when your GF sent me that wonderful beer glass that said the LIFO, the party?
The
Get it?
life of the part.
LIFO?
She saw that. She was so excited to give it to me.
Haven't you
Yes.
figured out that we have really corny senses of humor? So
Yeah,
we're
it's real
gonna
fun. Remember
share.
when Aaron went to jail? Yeah, those are
Those
good
were good
times.
times.
Good times. Yeah.
I
So
mean, you bought something last week. I won't say what it was unless you want people to know. And I'm still trying to figure out a way we can write that off.
my buffalo sweatshirt for
No, in the
small.
basement, something big. You had people over that
I can't write off a poker table.
I didn't think you could,
You
but
can't. No.
if you ever, yeah, you can't. I can't think of really. I really can't think of
Here's
anything either.
Chad. Knowing how I pay my taxes early and over more than what you would like. Okay. Do you think my main goal is like, oh my God, I got to save every little penny? Or is it like, I don't want to worry about this?
You just don't want to worry about it, which is why you pay your taxes, your estimated taxes, pretty much the first day that you're
First
allowed
day,
to.
don't have to
Which,
worry about them. Right.
ugh.
I know. But so when the audit, I'm surprised technically I haven't gotten audited yet. But in any case, if and when this comes, I'm not worried because I got boxes of receipts.
Yes, you
And we're going to
do.
show Mr. I or Mrs. IRS age, like, come on, let's go through them together. Here we go. So,
You do have boxes full of receipts. I'll
boxes
give you
of
that.
receipts. Yes, yes.
Um. Well, anyway, continuing
Continue
on.
on. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll play this out. Last year, President Joe Biden signed into law, the Inflation Reduction Act, which added some 80 billion to the IRS budget, so that the agency could hire an additional 80,000 auditors and agents. In April, the agency said that it was planning to add 20,000 more agents to its payroll within the next 2 years using funds from the legislation to bolster tax collection and get this, as well as to improve customer service. And you know what? They have. They pick up the phone now. I have to give them that.
Good, good.
Um, the tax agency said it will obligate about 8.64 billion of the new funding during the 2023 and 2024 fiscal years, and that 7,239 of the new hires during those years will be enforcement staff. So they coming for you.
All right.
But a significant portion of these new hires will replace the nearly 12,000 IRS employees expected to retire over the next 2 years,
So they're
including
short 5,000?
well, including more than 4,700 enforcement staff, a treasury
Oh,
official
okay.
told.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is why we're going to talk about this, because the IRS is on a hiring spree, okay? And we're gonna go over that. So let me finish this article, and then we'll get to this. The 80 billion in new funding from last year's climate-focused Inflation Reduction Act is aimed at rebuilding the agency's audit capabilities and this is true, 1960s era computer technology after a decade of funding cuts, mostly by Republican controlled Congresses. I was annoyed and I thought it was a biased thing they said there, but I looked it up. That's actually a true statement. The
The
Republican Congress
Republicans,
is, yeah,
right?
yeah. Um, it aims to help those close the tax gaps between taxes owed and taxes paid, estimated by Treasury at some $600 billion a year. Again, by focusing new audits on the wealthiest Americans. Not buying it, not buying it. Quote, the IRS is going to hire more data scientists. Pay attention, I get questions about this. The IRS is
Okay,
going to hire more data scientists than they ever have for enforcement purposes. Deputy Secretary Wally Adeyomo said earlier this year, adding that these would complement more traditional tax attorneys and revenue agents in using new data analytics technology to identify audit targets. Okay,
right.
this as the article ends. But the nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation claims that the plan will actually ramp up targeting of small business owners. That
Yes,
actually is,
that's
yes.
true.
And that is
Yeah.
a nonpartisan. I had to look it up. That is a nonpartisan thing. They're not
Mm,
Democrat, they're Republican. They're just saying that's what's going to happen.
mm.
The group estimated that between 78% and 90% of the additional $200 billion that the IRS plans to collect will have come from small businesses that generate less than $200,000 annually.
Less
And there
than,
you have it. Less than.
less than. Okay, interesting.
That is almost every single S corporation that I deal with.
Right. Well,
So
it's every
there,
S corporation out there, isn't it?
no, there's S corps that have more than two hundred thousand
Okay. All right.
dollars
All right.
annually, but I mean the majority are pretty much, at least mine, are between like 1 and 150. I mean these are therapists,
Yeah,
so
these are all contractors.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
basically,
Yeah, you're 1099ers out there. Okay. Right. Right.
or they have their own business and that's what their gross is. So,
Mhm.
and there you have it.
And there you
So,
have it.
okay, the first thing we need to discuss is what is a revenue agent. Clary, do you want to try this in like 30 words or less?
Oh,
Because
I
I have a
don't know.
short.
You worked for the IRS,
Sure.
so
No,
yeah.
I'll
I
explain.
a revenue agent,
Revenue agent.
a
This
revenue
is who they're
agent.
hiring. The 3,700 revenue
Oh,
agent.
those enforcement agents. Okay, well,
Yes,
they're
yes, yes, yes.
sworn officers, so I think they're allowed to carry a gun and make arrests. Technically,
No,
if
no, 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 no. Those are
no,
treasury agents. These
those
are
are
just
treasury
revenue.
agents.
Yeah, those are the like these are just the types, the auditors, essentially auditors.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So they're the ones that after the algorithm and your data scientists and whatever else highlights high risk cases, they would then give the human eye to them and decide whether or not to investigate or prosecute, or not, maybe not prosecute, but investigate to see if that person owes more money.
Well, they're the investigators,
They're the
essentially.
investigators.
Yeah,
Okay. All
they
right.
investigate this. In fact, I took this from the IRS website briefly. What is a revenue agent? Known officially as internal revenue agents, these specialized positions are for mid career professionals with specialized experience and education. These are higher graded positions at the general schedule GS 13 level in the federal civil service system, which translates into an annual salary of about $125,000 a year. So that's a good salary.
It's handsome. Yes.
It's good. GS-13 revenue agents serve as technical experts in examinations of significant and complicated tax compliance issues. Their cases are typically concern the most complex income tax returns filed by individuals, organizations, and other entities, including those with extensive subsidiaries with operations of national and international scope. So it's like I was
Okay.
saying, they go after you and they're going to audit you,
Right.
essentially.
Okay. Yeah. Your regular IRS agent.
Regular
Or
IRS
yeah.
agent.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they audit. Exactly.
Mm.
So the qualifications, I have the USA jobs for all this. These 37. We're not going to go over that. I do have some bad news for you guys because I got a lot of emails about this actually. One of the one of the good things about the enrolled agent being an EA is that you don't need a college degree. You can just
Mhm.
take these exams and do it. Unfortunately, at least as they're listing it on USA Jobs right now, you have to have a bachelor's in order to get one of
Does it
these
say
enrolled agent
master's
jobs.
prefer did Karen say master's preferred after it?
That's a great. Does it say master's for? Let
I
me
don't know.
see.
Do you got the job listing?
I
It's
do.
probably
I don't think I
posted.
saw. I- No, it's like you have a CPA or you have a bachelor's degree or higher in a field. in accounting or other than accounting. So you have to have at
Okay.
least a bachelor's. It actually didn't say anything about a master's.
Okay. All right.
But that was the only thing I wanted to say because I mean, if you guys say you're an EA and you don't have a college degree and you have all this wonderful experience where you could technically qualify for one of these, you won't even be able to get your foot in the door because of this. And I don't think that's the best idea, but that's how they've posted it for this job.
No, I agree with you. It should be experience, not education. But would
Mhm.
enrolled agents who are working for themselves, like you'd have an employer now. You'd
Yeah.
have to go work at whatever one of their offices, in Cincinnati or Texas or Utah or whatever. I don't know. I think I'd prefer to stay an enrolled agent who can work remotely.
Yeah. And we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about
Mhm.
the positives and negatives of this. Hold on. Somebody wanted me to link the article, so I'm just going to do it in the chat. Yeah, have a look at this if you guys want to see it. So just I have to give you guys some full disclosure because again, surprisingly, I got emails about this. I wasn't even really going to do a show this week, but
Yeah.
I I never actually worked for the IRS. Okay. I spent 3 years working at the US tax court, which is on the civil side, and then 3 years working at the US Department of Justice tax division on the criminal side. So I worked very, very, very closely with revenue agents and treasury agents, but I was not
Okay.
technically with the IRS because,
All right. I didn't know that there were 5 other departments of tax in the
there's a
Department of
zillion.
okay, oh my god, okay, I
Yeah.
thought you were an IRS. Alright, but you worked with the IRS, okay.
Very closely. This was
Alright.
all throughout my 20s. Um, so I want to emphasize that I do know what it's like to be a full-time federal employee, and I do know what it's like to work as a revenue agent. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is I have a colleague who is a revenue agent and has been for a while now, and it just so happens I spoke to him yesterday,
Okay.
and I was wanted his take on all of this and the pros and cons. And so that is what we're going to discuss right now.
Okay.
So, uh, I've got a bunch here, about 6 of each, but you know what, Clary, would you like to see if you can what are some of your guesses on the pros? If you had to think about a position like this, talk about what you think the pro
IRS agent
Yeah,
pros. Okay, well,
yeah,
pros would be the government pay
yeah,
and
yeah,
reliability of employment, so there's that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Shoot, I don't know.
Mm.
I've been self-employed for so long, it's that the rest of it sounds like a bag of dicks to me. I what
Well, that's a good start because that's what people think about is the stability and,
Mhm.
contrary to popular belief, the government actually does pay pretty well.
Yeah, it does,
So,
yeah, so you got good pay and it's a stable government job. Those are the 2 pros I can think of. I
I'll
guess
start
okay, another can I guess another one?
Sure, sure.
I'm gonna bet if you put IRS on your resume and you were ever to leave the IRS, that is a booster
Oh, yeah.
when you wanna go and do tax or audit or something. "Oh,
Oh,
you work for
yeah.
the IRS, it's quite impressive." So that'd be another benefit. It's a nice feather to have in your cap.
We're getting a lot of good, and yeah, I'm gonna go over these, but you're right. The benefits are
Pension, yeah,
crazy
healthcare.
good
Yeah, no,
with the
I
government.
could
Yeah,
include that all in compensation, but,
yeah.
aside from that, I don't see any other upside to becoming an IRS agent.
Um, let's start with the first one you mentioned, which is job security and
Mhm,
long-term career prospects.
right?
I think you know this, and I don't know if I've joked about it, but it's actually true. So, do you know how much you have to fuck up to be hired or fired from a government job? Do
Oh,
you
you have
know
to tremendously yeah, you have job security, yeah.
I mean, dude, it's you almost have to try to get
Mm,
fired when you're in a job like this. So if you want job stability, that's it. You ain't getting fired or laid off.
mhm,
And doubly so when you have some kind of hiring initiative like this. And I've talked in previous episodes how I thought they might struggle to find some talent for this. Like,
right.
believe me, they want you, and they're not going to get rid of you if you get hired in here. So extreme job security.
Right.
Yeah,
And you were even talking about issues of training times and getting people up to snuff, which is gonna
I was
guarantee even more job security.
I was just about that's point number 2 on here. Good guess. Yeah. Extensive, and I mean extensive with a capital E, training and development programs. It's comprehensive, and they're paying for all of it. If you're
Mhm.
self-employed like me, we gotta get our own CPE and all that.
Right.
But I took advantage of all of this when I was with, the DOJ and U.S. tax court. I got to train in all that stuff, and it made me who I am today. And this is how you can eventually start your own practice on steroids, because you've got all this training from the government itself, the regulatory board.
The word, it came straight from the horse's mouth.
Straight from the horse's
Right.
mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is another huge pro if you want to consider doing this. And there's a third one here, which not everybody is aware of, but this was the case when I was with the government.
They got
Clary,
hot chicks that work. They got beautiful women that work. No, dang it.
No. There was a judge I thought was hot when I was at the tax court, but she was like in her 40s and she's married.
Yeah?
So yeah,
Oh.
we got through road trips. I was 23.
What? If you banged a judge, there's a feather in your cap. Like,
it wasn't for lack of trying.
No, I know.
No,
I would have saluted you.
Fun story. She ended up cheating the government and ended up in federal prison.
What, really?
Yeah. You guys need to look up Judge Kropa. No, this is public.
Okay, all right.
All over the news when this happened.
Hang on, I want to see how hot she is. Well, how do I spell
Not
it?
anymore. I checked. Judge Kroupa, and type in U.S. tax court. I warn you, I did look at some recent pictures, and she didn't look like that in 2003, just so y'all know. 20 years ago.
It's this is kind of a grainy pic. Oh God, Jesus. All right, yeah, no. Okay.
I'm telling you, back in the day.
Yeah, I know, back in the day.
All right. So anyway, point number 3 here about the pros. There is absolutely, do you think these jobs are like public accounting where you work forever? Do you think these are 40-hour-a-week jobs?
Oh, 40 hour. Yeah, you're union, aren't you? Is it union?
It is union.
Okay,
yes, it is.
Right. All right.
I actually didn't know that until I spoke with my colleague with the IRS now, because I didn't know that they actually fell under that. But yeah, there are unions for the employees at the IRS. So the job is 40 hours per week, and you do have to often work longer, you see, but it's all comp time. All comp time. You get extra time off or you get extra pay. That's just how it works. And not only this, the work schedules have a shit ton of flexibility. And I remember this when I was with the government. If you really want to, you can just work 10 hours a day for 4 days a week. So you're basically working a 4-day work week.
4 10s, right. And you get
4 10s, yeah.
3 days off. All right.
That, at least I've never seen anything like that in the private industry, or it's kind of rare. I haven't seen that. So it's good, as they say, work-life balance. Point number 4 of a pro. There are diverse career opportunities within the IRS. Now, Clary, when I say diverse, do I mean like diverse, or do I mean
you
like,
don't mean the pejorative diverse. You mean the actual meaning selection of choice, and you could go work in that industry, or you could work in the railroads. Yeah, okay, so that's good too.
I was able to transfer from that U.S. tax court job to the DOJ criminal, which was a huge step up, seamlessly. And if you're working for the IRS, you can go across pretty much any agency if you want.
Could I raise my hand?
Anytime.
Okay. You were in the system, okay? So, GS-13. Oh, it was a big bump up the Department of Justice. I want to let everyone in Washington, D.C. and all you government workers know this. No one gives a shit because we don't know. We don't care. You're coming in there, oh, I'm a GS-14. I'm like, I don't know what that means, and I don't care. And then you're gonna get, did it help you get laid more when you went to the Department of Justice? Where the girl's like, oh my God, the Department of Justice instead of the Department of Commerce. Was anyone like excited?
Actually, living in DC, there were a few people who were excited, because I remember I'm in my 20s.
See, because those are the assholes. It's like you know the Masons. This is not the slam.
Yeah,
the Freemasons.
Yep.
They got all their freaking ranks and their titles and all that. Do you know who cares about that?
The stonecutters. I don't know.
The Masons. Do you know who else? Do you know anyone else who cares about that?
No.
So all right. So you get. You're
not
to move to the other department.
No, you're not wrong. But actually, all right. Side story. This was back in 2004. So God, I was young. I asked this one gal out. I can't remember how. And I was working at the U.S. tax court, and I was working late one night, and we were going to go on a date after that. So she met me at the tax court.
Right.
And there's an actual courtroom in the tax court, full with benches and like where the
It's
judge
a
sits to
court.
go.
Yeah, a court.
So I was like, I told her, and I happened to be working it that night, and everybody was gone. I was cleaning up and everything, and she called me because there was no texting in 2004 yet.
Right.
It's like, hey, I'm downstairs. So I went down to get her, and I gave her a tour of the courtroom. That dude, I don't know why that actually did help me get laid, because she thought it was the coolest fucking thing that
It is
like
pretty cool.
yeah, I'm this dude
It
in a
is pretty cool.
suit, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, here's the court. So she got up on the bench and was like, you are guilty. And she had the best time with that. So I snuck a couple of beers from downstairs and we just kind of hung out in the courtroom
Uh-huh.
and drinking. Nobody cared. That's the night security guard. I was like tight with him, so he didn't give
Yeah.
a shit.
Okay.
So my first date, and this girl was my girlfriend for 3 years in my 20, and our first date was like there in the courtroom.
Did you tell me the story of this one? Like she went.
I don't think I've ever talked about this one
No?
with you.
Okay, all right. Because I was like, man, okay, but one of these days you have to tell me about this.
Yeah, because this was age 24. I was so long ago, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would not, no cuddle books. I'll give you that.
No one is. No one is.
Anyway, back on point. If you work for the IRS or frankly any of these government institutions, once you're in the federal system, it really is easy to like transfer in between agencies because you're already there, you're already vetted, and you have a leg up on pretty much anyone else from the outside public that wants to apply. And that's kind of how I ended up at DOJ. So that's another pro if you really want to go this route.
You're in with the family then.
Yes, you are in there. And the last one we already kind of talked about was the pay and benefits. Dude, like I hate to say it, I went back and looked at what it is, and I remembered what I had. I mean, pensions, health insurance, retirement, vacation. They give you good shit in the federal government, more than most people are offering now.
Yeah, even adjusted for your cost of living, where you might have to
Yeah.
live in a high expense area like DC or whatever. But
your pay scale rises with cost of living.
okay, it does have
locality has its own pay scale.
It has a COLA adjustment. All right, so no, that's great. That is great. Yeah,
goes up every year automatically. And this was my agent in the field, so to speak, told me about this, which I didn't even know, which didn't exist when I was there. You have fully remote work after just 1 year. After 1 year, you don't even have to go into the office.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah.
I don't know if that was new because of COVID, but that's how it is now.
There it is.
So there's a lot of pros, frankly, I could see how somebody would be really drawn to that. Scott, I don't know if you're still in the chat. Let's talk about some of the cons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I actually have 7 cons. Okay. Clary, give me some of the things that you think would suck.
They are going to promote black, lesbian, wheelchair-ridden vagina over anyone who's competent. I guarantee you would not be working for a meritocracy. There's going to be, you're at ground zero for politics. And so they're going to promote politics over productivity.
We keep it real here. And, for our guys in the chat, you guys, like if you you
guys go.
Honestly, no bullshit. If you guys get in the system, you got it made. I would even sort of recommend this.
Until Shaniqua comes along, then Darkman Jeff has only got. I've talked this to my minority audience. It's like, it's good for a while, but I almost guarantee you're going to need at least two to be in the higher up. So just so you know, guys, I'm in. Yeah, you'll get in, but there's somebody always more disabled or victimized than you. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. That's what happens when you abandon a meritocracy.
Right. And, I no hate for mine. We're just keeping it real. You could rise on the ranks, but
May I make a point?
Yes.
How is that any different than corporate America or private sector employment?
It's not. It
isn't. Right.
It's not. The only difference, the only slight difference is that, from what I understand, the federal government, the system they have sort of assigns you points. I think with the corporate, it's more just, they don't really do it that way. They just kind of like sort of wing it, but there's actually a point system based on diversity in the federal system. Yeah. So that was one of the 7 cons is that, you have to basically look in the mirror and decide if your prospects are good as far as that goes. Can you think of any others?
I would say the culture is going to lean to the left a little bit. And not even necessarily the political culture, like, are they Democrat or Republican? I don't even mean that necessarily, but especially if you're working in DC, you're going to have like a political culture. If you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
there's like, you got to hobnob with the judge and all this other bullshit. So I
Not
think that not really.
not I don't think, I worked with judges at the tax court, but outside of that, when you're in a position like this, you actually don't really have to do that. Like, you're not really
Okay.
a political appointee. However, and this falls under this, I do have this one of the like culture. There is so much bureaucracy and red tape when it comes to being in an organization like this. Like, do you
Mhm.
think you can get anything done quickly?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, like interstaff
yeah,
reliability. Oh yeah, you're
yeah.
right. No, and they're understaffed to begin with too.
You remember how I said you can never get fired and how that's a pro? It's
It's
also a
also a
con.
con here. Yeah, yeah.
Clary, do you know how much dead weight I had to work with back in the early, between 2002 and 2008? Like, every time, almost any time I needed help, with support staff or whatever, I want
Mhm.
you to try to guess the percentage that were
Oh,
completely
two
useless.
thirds. Two thirds are completely
Half.
worthless. Only
It was
one in
half.
three. Okay, half. Okay, all right.
So yeah, 1 out of 2 people, and so they're worthless. You can't fire them. And I'm not going to say more than this, except it would have been too risky to fire them.
Right.
And I have
Okay.
to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're going to end up with dead weight, and there ain't nothing you can do about it because they're there to collect a paycheck. You ask them for help. They're either too stupid to do it or they're too lazy. And if you try to be like, look, I really need this done, they'll just be like, all right, I'll do it when I feel like it.
Yeah.
What are you
Okay.
going to do about it?
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Hear that, Dark Man Jeff? See, he's all like getting all excited about that IRS money, and like, oh,
For every upside, there's a downside here, and we haven't
yeah.
even covered the real ones yet. The
All
real
right.
ones. Um. Okay. What is one of the things early on, Clary? Actually, it was one of the first videos I found of yours. So we're going back in 2012 and 2013.
Okay. Way back. Oh.
You stressed, and this is kind of how I found my own way. I had these jobs I hated, and you said, try the two-prong approach. You want to tell people about the two-prong
Oh
approach?
God, you can't moonlight.
You are not allowed to
Wow.
have any side hustle with the
Wow. Okay.
IRS.
So you
You
sound like
will
a
get fired.
non-compete. Okay.
You will
Interesting.
get fired. And this is from my guy who works there right now because I didn't think you would be allowed to do it, but I didn't know that they were this stringent about it. You
Okay.
cannot do anything related to tax or accounting if you're working for the IRS on
All
the
right, but you could
side.
run a lemonade stand if you'd like.
I mean, you'd still have to get approval and they wouldn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you
Okay.
like Clary, even this, what you and I were doing, if I
You
worked for the
couldn't do that.
IRS, I don't think I could do it. I
Wow.
think I'd get
Okay.
in
All
shit
right.
because they're like, you're making money based on taxes and accounting. You can't do it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. To me, that is almost at the top of the list as far as a con
I
goes.
would agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to do this, if you want to get into the federal system, you better be prepared to be in that system until you get out and go private. You cannot do a two-prong approach, and that's for me. That's why it's never going
N-
to be a thing for me.
Not to defend the government or the IRS or government work, but they do compensate you handsomely,
Mhm, mhm.
and it's not so far. Me being the jaded person I am, and knowing just that all work is bullshit, this sounds still like a really good idea, especially if you're younger, because you're not going to get this kind of money. You're not going to get this reliability. And if you just like, look, I'm here to exchange time for money. And it's I don't want to get promoted. I know that's going to go to whatever, Juanita
Yes.
or whoever else. I just need to get my money and get it. This is still a good opportunity, I would say. Still a good opportunity.
It's a very good opportunity, in my opinion, if you're in your 20s, maybe your 30s. If you were
Mhm.
my age and even a little younger than me, I wouldn't start out here.
Okay.
And now, Scott in the chat, I understand everything. We'll talk, and I know your reasons for doing it, but I'm just speaking generally here.
All right.
So, the other thing that I wanted to mention was that I know I mentioned it's only 40 hours a week comp time and everything, but there's actually a pretty high workload and there's a lot of stress. And this is from my guy who's in there right now. He's like, there's
Mm.
all these benefits, but there's a lot to do because it is going to be a little bit slow for them to start hiring people.
Well, they're
And
also short-staffed
they're
right
short
now. Yeah.
staffed. Yes, you got to get
Yeah.
them up to speed. There's actually a lot of work to do. And so
Okay.
it can be stressful. And so he did stress that to me. There's a lot. And you know what else? I think you're gonna like this one, Clary, and I've got some stories about it. Do you think anybody actually likes getting audited?
No, I don't think anyone likes getting audited.
So imagine you show up to some business, you're in a suit or business
Oh,
casual. Do you think you're
yeah.
gonna be warmly received when
No,
this
no, you're
happens?
not. It's like getting pulled over by the cops.
Exactly.
No. No.
So that I have this is a big one, and even my guy mentioned it too. You are exposed to a lot of very difficult situations and resistance when you're just trying to do your jobs.
Mhm.
Dre's not here. We joke about the whole shoebox full of receipts. When
Mhm.
I used to have to work with the revenue agents on these criminal investigations that we were
Mhm.
doing, that shit was regular. Do you think they made it easy on us to actually go through
Oh, no, they're
things?
gonna make well, see that I save boxes of receipts because that's my final, like, backup audit, like, "No, here it is."
Right.
It's not like I'm trying to be, obtuse but I
Right.
I do kinda I just wanna see the IRS agent's face if I ever get audited, like, "Okay, bump, here's the receipts, let's go through them," and I just kinda, "You asked for it, here we are."
That was a regular.
To the
Yeah.
penny, we're gonna go through this.
And you know what really sucked was, like, there's actually no law against that. So us
Well, why
underlings are the
would there
ones that.
be?
No, you're right. I mean, they're not obligated to make it easy on, us to do our job if we're getting
Well,
audited. So,
I thought you meant having a paper receipt trail, I'm like, "Why would that be illegal?"
oh, no, no, I just meant they're not obligated to, like, organize it in any way. They'll make you if they're gonna investigate them, at least when I was there. I don't think
Yeah.
now you can still do it, but
They would literally just drop a box of receipts that wouldn't even be organized into expense category?
sure. Why would they do
Oh, wow.
you're investigating them. So does that sound fun to you guys? Because it wasn't fun for me when I was in my
Mm,
early 20s having to wade through this like pile of shit. The other thing I wanted to mention about being exposed to difficult situations. So Claire, I want to take you back in time about 15, I guess it would be 16, 17 years now.
alright.
Mr. Snipes, this was when I was at the criminal tax division of DOJ. This was the most high profile tax fraud case since Leona Helmsley, if you
Mhm.
know who that is. Do you think that there were not some people that were threatening not so much me, I was anonymous, I was an underling, but like the attorneys, and the agents and everything that we were working with? I mean, Snipes had a shit ton of fans, and there were even
Oh,
some
yeah.
death threats.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
I could
called
s
racists, and this is before all this, woke stuff blew up,
Mhm.
obviously. But I mean, it can get a bit harrowing when you're on a high profile case. It really can. And
Mm.
you kind of heard my story about how the jury was like, "Well, we liked his
We
movies,
liked
so
him, yeah, he was a good guy, yeah.
hence I gave up on law school." But
Right, right.
so you are put into some tough situations. Obviously, not every audit's going to be high profile. Most of them are no names or whatever, but nobody is happy to see you ever. And
Mhm.
so they're going to make it hard for you. Most of them aren't going to be cordial. You just got to be prepared for that shit. To me, that is a huge con because almost everybody's happy to work with me now because I'm trying to save them money.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, that wasn't the case.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh, Another one. Clary, well, I guess this is a bit overlap. Do you think it's exciting to do this type of work?
no, it gets boring. What? I had a client, he wasn't finding purpose and meaning in his insurance, um, job. He was doing some kind of insurance stuff. And he says, "Well, I think about switching to accounting." I'm like, "What do you think? That's gonna be like balls and farts? That's gonna be just as boring as insurance. If you don't find purpose and meaning in insurance, you sure the hell aren't gonna find it in accounting. But no, it's going to be accounting. It's going to be boring. That's why you are paid the money."
And that's what you got to realize when you are a revenue agent. So actually, I should point out my colleague who's still there. he and I actually disagreed a little bit on this
Yeah.
because he said, I'm quoting him here. He goes, "Interesting work. Each case and each business is different. I'm not chained to a desk 100% of the time. I get to go out in the field, tour businesses, interview taxpayers." I don't know. To me, he makes it sound like a lot more interesting than at least I felt like it was
I
when
think
I was
that's
doing that.
because, well, okay, you were. I think it's because maybe he enjoys the investigative or forensics aspect
Yeah,
of it. Like
and he
he's
does.
trying to, yeah. So, and I don't know if you were doing more audit work than you were investigation. Like when I was an analyst to assess collateral and whether or not these people were lying right to our face, yeah, you had to do site visits, and
Yeah.
you'd have to, you'd look at that like, what's that piece of equipment doing out in the rain? Oh, we just left. It's like it's rusting, you idiot, but this was Wyoming. So yeah, then that was more fun. It was agitating. It was frustrating. But I'd rather do that than, go and spread some financial statements. But that's what you're going to be doing. It's not exciting work.
Perfect segue to the one final con. However, a lot of people would call this a pro. Okay.
Mm.
Frequent travel requirements.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a con for me because throughout my entire time with the federal government involved a shit ton of travel. And at first, the first year with the US tax code, I was like, this is great. I get to go to Phoenix, Albuquerque,
Mhm.
Miami, Pittsburgh. You're going to all these random, Kansas City, which it may
Mhm.
not be exciting, but he's right. You're not sitting behind a desk. Do you think once you hit like 30 and then you maybe in your 40s, you really want to travel like
I
this?
do not like I had to
No.
fly out to Fresh and Fit from Vegas to
Yeah, that's
Miami.
right. You
Out
hated
there,
that.
it was 4 was it 4 or 5? I think it was 4
On
hours, 30
Spirit.
minutes on Spirit, which was not
Yeah.
the bad part, I enjoyed it. Coming back because of the headwind, because the way the wind blows across the night, it added another half an hour, so I think it was a 5-hour flight.
Yeah.
No, I do not like traveling anymore, absolutely not.
I got so sick of it. And to get a little personal, that story I told you about my girlfriend from my 20s,
Mhm.
one of the reasons it just kind of fell apart was because I was gone like half the time or most of the time.
No.
And I was annoyed with her at the time, and she was right. If I'm not going to be around, she didn't want to just have a boyfriend that's constantly gone.
Right, no,
So
you gotta understand that, that's,
so this is why I say to me it's a huge con. But as we said earlier, if you're in your 20s and you want to
mhm.
get experience, this could be a pro. And my guy who's a little bit older, he still thought it was a pro because, like you said, you're not chained to a desk. But I
No,
would never take a job like that now.
no, no.
So
I still, like I said, I think it would be for the younger people. I would
yeah,
even say for an older guy or older gal where you're like, "Look, I just need to make some money, and I
yeah,
don't care about the office politics. What do you want me to do? You want me to do this over here? All right, for $60 an hour, you're damn right I'm gonna do it." And then you go do it.
yeah.
I think it would be it's a perfectly fine job. I don't think the job's any worse or better than any other
It's
job you're gonna work, but it's more stable, more highly compensated, and, as long as you don't care to get promoted and just make your money, and, I could see, like, if you wanted to have a life even,
right.
you just like, "Dude, I just wanna play my volleyball and go bang some girls down in Georgetown." I really it'd be like, "Yeah, I did my time, now I'm gone, bye." And they're like, "Do you want a promotion?" "No, I don't," "I don't wanna make it to GS 47B." "No, I don't, I'm fine at 46A. I'm okay over here."
uh, I'm going to give you my final thoughts, pros and cons, but I
Are you
wanted to
gonna rule? You're gonna get the gavel?
at least mine, yeah.
Okay,
But did you want to say anything else about it? You think when you're young, you do it, you older want to make some money. Any further thoughts? Because I'm gonna go on this a
I
little
I
bit.
would I would say, especially if you're younger, yeah, go get it.
Yeah,
If you're older and you got the right mentality, like, and you like to travel, some of the older timers, they like to travel. I mean, go make your 6 figures, save up your money, go travel, whatever. But like, here's my main draw from it. Every job sucks. Every job is
Yeah,
going to suck.
that's true. That's
Why
true.
not get the good money and the pension and all that other stuff with this one?
That's fair.
Yeah, so that would be mine. But yeah, but if you're the entrepreneurial type or you hate, no, absolutely not. You gotta do in your own hustling, your own thing.
As I was putting this outline together today, I took a break from working, and I honestly did take just a half hour, clear my mind to do nothing but think about this. Honestly, man, I could never do it. And
Never
and
do
and
it.
the reason is because remember, I lived some of this, and I thought that this is what life had to be. It was like, again, this is just me, you guys. You're gonna disagree. I just felt like it was really stale and bland to work for the federal government. I just did. Like, I didn't like that there were people that I had was my support staff. I was stuck with them. They were
Mm,
stupid and lazy, and there was nothing I could do about that. I couldn't complain because I did. When I did try to be like, I can't do anything with so and so, and they're like,
mm,
we know, but we can't get rid of her. What
okay.
private company would say that? And I mean, some, but you're really stuck with the feds. So
Mm,
it's like, yeah, now that I've been on the other side and, you know,
what's
I've run
happening?
my when I've run my own practice, after running your own practice and like being an entrepreneur, man, it kind of ruins you. Like, Claire, do
Mm.
you think you could ever work not just for the feds, but really any job after having done what you've done for so long? Could you ever
I
envision
I I
doing?
could, but I would go into my monk mode and not give a damn and just do it. I could shut it off, which is actually quite a skill. But I wouldn't like it. And like if you said go back to banking, I'm like, I'll kill them all. I will go
Yeah,
to jail. I'll kill them all. So yeah, it depends definitely on the job, but I if push came to shove, I could, but I don't wanna. Like I prefer to be self-employed.
Scott, we got to talk about this.
All jobs do
I
suck,
think
yeah.
I'm going to get you on next time. We'll see if you're free. Um, so basically, the thing is, look, and we joke about this, but it's true. Taxes, accounting, auditing, you guys know it's boring as shit. Like, we're not going to end up on TV unless it's like, American Greed. And then we get like 30 seconds of, oh, they cheated this way. It's
Mhm.
not exciting work. But at least in my case, I get to run my own company and I get to be the decision maker. So I could never go back to working for the IRS or really any federal agency because I think I would miss that too
You
much.
you you couldn't even go back to the Big 4 or any other accounting or
No.
accountancy, yeah. No,
So in a way, I feel like I'm kind of screwed because it's like, Clary, I'm all in on like entrepreneurship. If I fail at this, if something goes wrong, I mean, what do I
I
do
I
then?
uh, I believe entrepreneurship is more stable employment than working for someone else because 'cause you're the main variable.
Hmm.
And there's just too many things that can go wrong with working for someone else, whether it's the economy or the
Hmm.
industry and management. And yeah, I know like, oh, it's me or my back's against the wall. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually way more secure because
Yeah.
you don't have one source of income, you have hundreds.
Many.
Yeah. And I just think self-employment is way more secure. But that's not to take away from what I would think is still a pretty good job, especially if you're younger on the table.
I gotta say, of all the cons, it was really that one that was like, you can't have a side hustle that got me the most. I
Yeah.
was like, well,
Yeah.
so then I'm stuck.
Mhm.
So, and then really the last thing I want to mention, and I think Claire, you're gonna really be with me on this one. It would just frankly be ideologically incompatible for me to go back working for the federal government because
Really?
I believe in a small government. I can't work for the feds. It's like I did that already.
Yeah,
It's we have
but, what do you care if you're making the money?
I just would sort of feel like I'm selling a little piece of my soul, and that's just me. I know some of you guys in the chat are gonna disagree.
I'm a
I just
whore. Like, how much money
ah,
per hour? Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, Barack Obama. I can't wait to suck his dick. Yeah, oh,
oh
sure.
man, I can
Pamela
only
Karras or the other
Claire.
gal. Oh, yeah, I
You
like
lived
her.
in Minneapolis forever, and I think
Yeah.
you got to be true to yourself. You know that 90+% of my clientele are of a different ideology
Well,
and
then
persuasion than
how is it
me.
any different that you'd be working for the feds?
Because at least with me, I can
Yeah.
replace them if I need to. And frankly, I'm sort of working on this. Whereas with the feds, I just gotta keep up the charade and be like, yeah, let's go after them tax cheats. And,
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I they're Democrats, but they got money. Okay, give me the money. Oh yeah, totally. The hiring of the black
wow, I
lesbian
thought
in
you
the
would be a little
wheelchair.
bit.
Sure,
I
whatever.
thought you
Just
would
give me
be
the money.
more stuck on this point.
Let me. I'll tell you what happened to me when I was second to last employer that I had. Was it second? Maybe it was third to last. I can't remember. This was the whole. It didn't matter what I did, it was still 8 hours of my day gone. And I could
Mhm.
get pissed off that the employer that time was not giving me the work or the responsibility that I was capable of handling. It didn't matter. And once I figured that out, it was so much easier because it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'll just go file, I'll just go fax, I'll brush my teeth, I'll go for a walk.
Mhm.
I got my work done by noon or 11 in the morning every day. And once I gave up, like, oh, they're not giving me anything to do. I'm like, it's because they're stupid and I'm smart. And I'm not being arrogant. I'm terribly sorry. Smart people just get their shit done faster in fraction of the time. And stupid people are management. I'm sorry, you all are. You're just truly stupid people.
Tell you the
And what,
candidates.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, just saying, once I realized that, whether they were challenging me or not, whether I was doing my best work or not, I was still getting paid the same 33 bucks an hour. And once I figured that out, I like, nope, I'm here to get money out of you. And that was probably also the time my goals in life changed from I'm going to be a careerist, I'm going to make a lot of money, and I'm going to F this, I'm going home and having fun. And
Mhm.
I'm done trying to prove myself and earn some kind of position that would pay me and actually use my
Mhm.
skills. Like, nope, and that's also more or less where I was transitioning into self-employment.
Mhm.
So if you're working for someone else, it doesn't matter what they have you do. It's only what they pay you for however many hours.
I mean, no, you're right. I don't know. Maybe I overthought this today when I was really trying to figure out my stance on this. I
I
don't
don't think
know.
you have to. It's not a question you're facing right now.
No, it's not. But when I was in Portland a couple weeks ago, and even
Mhm.
my dad, we were talking about this whole thing, and he was just asking. He wasn't saying I should do it. He was like, what if you just applied for the IRS? You wouldn't have to be annoyed by clients. You'd have a guaranteed everything. And I was like, well, that's how you did it. And frankly, it turned out well for you. So I actually
Mhm.
did. I've been chewing on this one for a while, but I just can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
No. Well, yeah, and individually you can't do it. Right. It's up to
Uh-uh.
you. I'm just saying philosophically on principle, if you can get to that point where what? Oh, we're all Democrat. Oh, yeah. I love Bill
Well, that
Clinton. Yeah.
really bothers me. Uh, I'm going to read this
What do
comment.
you do for dating? Okay, even to this day, right?
Yeah.
Until the candidate, what did you tell girls? They're all Democrats. When you're dating girls, you break out your big libertarian dick and start hitting them in the head with it, or did you just shut up about that?
Actually,
Yeah,
I let them talk. This was all post Cuddlebooks. I would
right.
let them talk, and I would actually push back. And I wouldn't be a dick about it, like mega whatever. But I would actually
Yeah.
challenge them on some of their stupid points. And believe it or not, we're going back a few years, but that actually ended up leading to some success because
Oh,
no
okay.
guy here had ever done that. They were
Well,
all
that's
soy
true.
boys who were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's her
Oh.
turn. I'm with her." You know. I'm gonna read this real quick from Jill because she has her own practice too. Anyone running their own business has their own personal agency. I used to say that as an employee, has too many employers and not enough clients. Keep it up. I guess that sort of sums up how I feel. Is that I want to be in control with the shit that I have to deal with,
Mm,
and I feel like if I had to work for the government or really anybody else, I'm sort of like at the mercy of whoever I'm working for throws at
right.
me.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't disagree with your decision. I don't know, maybe it's more mercenary, like, okay, does it pay that much and like that? Because let's also admit another thing here, Chad. Not by luck. It's by hard work and trial and error. But you and I
Yeah.
are very fortunate.
Yes.
Your average 22-year-old kid graduating from college with a degree in accounting, he can't just like, I'm starting my own practice. Like he doesn't have the years
Correct.
experience.
Yeah.
Doesn't, not that they couldn't set up an LLC. I think this, especially for younger people, I think it would be a great opportunity. A great opportunity
I could
to
not
make it
agree
happen.
more.
Yep.
If you don't have a lot of experience, if you're in your 20s and your 30s, look, I'm even going to say 40s. If you really, really want to do this, you're changing careers, go for it. If you have the energy, yeah.
May I point out another advantage to our minority and female listeners?
Yeah.
Like, let's take Darkman Jeff or who was the other?
Chunky
Well,
Gecko.
there's several. Landrum, Tom Landrum,
Oh, Thomas
a
Landrum.
chunky
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, hear me out. Okay, you're like, sign me up for the affirmative action hire. I'm in. I want to get in. Get me in. Imagine if you continued the principles that we teach here, and you were a hard-working, like you were the best. Could you imagine how quickly you would get promoted? Like if you, like your typical affirmative action hire comes in, I'm oppressed and I'm a victim and I'm owed this shit. Give me now. And you come in and you don't do any of that loudmouth bullshit, but you just bust your ass off and you actually are the best person in the department. Guess who's getting promoted?
We know that answer.
Chances are you're
Yeah.
getting promoted until
Yeah.
you get super high up. Then it's going to be, but you don't have a veg. Ooh, and yeah. So at some point, you got to bail off the Titanic, but you can get up there, especially if you come in and bring your A game.
That's true.
Yeah.
Scott, I can't wait to talk to you about this. Yeah, client stupidity is there, and it may not be worth it. Yeah, he's right. I mean, it's it's just kind of a matter of perspective on where you're coming from.
I don't
So,
know why you guys all don't have businesses like I do, where you just yell at your clients for a living and you
you
write
know,
books
I
and you
joke with
take pictures.
I lifted with our dentist friend just a couple days ago, and
Uh-huh.
he and I were sitting there, and in between sets, we're just like, "How the fuck can Clary complain about anything? He
I'm
gets
not
to literally yell."
complaining. I'm
I
not.
know, but we're just like, he has the best life of like everybody we know. He needs to like, he gets to yell and give his opinions, and he.
That's why, just so you guys know, I sent both Chad and our dentist friend on the same text. I said, can you believe, I said, what was it? I'm very sad or depressed or offended today. Not one person has bought my course to the dad you never had. And then our dentist buddy comes back like, oh, it's so difficult. Why don't people understand your genius? And I texted back, thank you. Someone finally understands me.
So in fairness, our dentist friend, who I love to death, he does think this is all the whole manosphere, whatever you want to call it, is one big grift.
He
In
thinks
some
it is big.
respects, he's
Yeah.
got some points. So
It's
yeah,
some. Yeah.
some.
But I still don't know why you guys just don't become internet people like me. I mean, come on. What the hell?
I tell you what, man, you were part of what they say is a first mover, and you did it pretty
I
well.
did. Yeah. No, I
Um,
was one of the first, and funny haha set aside, I was the first one to come up with consulting.
oh, I remember
That what
2014,
it
March
was
14th,
March
2014.
14th. Yep.
I
2014.
remember that simply because of the
Mhm.
specific date in my
Yep.
world.
Yep.
Scott, we need to chat. Uh, all right, let's close this one out.
We have
I'll
any
read
more
this one.
super chats
We
though?
do. Yeah, no, we
Oh,
do. We're
okay.
gonna
Yeah,
do super chats.
don't cheat your audience.
Oh, absolutely not. That's what I meant. I'll read this one. This is not super chat. I hate leftist filth. IRS ranks 285th out of 432 government agency subcomponents to work from the 2022. I guess that's a rating system. I did not know that.
What does that mean?
I think he's saying there's a 432 government agency rankings, and it's 285th out of 432.
Oh,
He's
like
basically saying,
quality places to work
yeah,
in the government.
yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. So it's mid-ranged.
mid-range. That's why I want to throw that up because we're trying to get everybody informed on this stream. Dre,
Nonstop Dre. He's up. $2. Chad, perks of working for IRS, you get to steal people's money.
I mean,
Chad,
yeah,
did the IRS agents get to keep their money?
no, they did not. In fact, one of the Treasury agents who I really we were working on that Snipes case for almost
Mhm.
18 months. He just retired right after it. He's like, I've had it. This was too stressful. I don't need the
Yeah.
death threats. I got a family. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
X runner 55, $5. I live in the DMV. That 120,000 is not handsome.
He's right.
Is that
Delmarva
DC,
Peninsula. Yeah,
Maryland, Virginia.
DC, Maryland, Virginia. Delmarva Peninsula.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. 120,000 not handsome, and you won't be hired at that rate. Government has COLA adjustments for the region.
He's right. And obviously in the DC area, it's among the highest. San Francisco, New York, and Chicago are up there. But if you get an IRS agent job in Topeka, Kansas, you're at the very low end, which is still $98,000 a year.
Yeah.
So
Naughty DJ Aftershock for $5. New GS13 IRS agent hires buying McMansions in Fredericksburg, Lake Ridge, and Manassas. As we speak, the diversity hires buying in Prince George and Bowie. You know all those. Is that the Edinas and the Wyzettas of that community?
Manassas and Fredericksburg and all those are very much like Edina. These are ritzy areas. But the second you get to the Prince George's County and Bowie, basically southeast DC, you're almost in the
fancy.
Yeah, that's the south side of Chicago. You're in Baltimore.
Oh, that's the bad part of Chicago. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. That's why he said the diversity hires by.
I thought Obama helped out the black people in those communities. Why?
Obama still has a house in Hyde Park, which is surrounded by terrible areas in the south side. There's armored guards surrounding it all the time. It's not like
he's a former president. Obviously, he has Secret Service agents still.
But when I first moved to Chicago, I was working at the University of Chicago for a while. Like, man, it's just really dangerous surrounding that area. It is really dangerous.
Hat and Clogs, $2. Happy Cappy, Alpha Chad, Money, Easter Money. Powerball's 275 million. There you go.
Well, good to see you, Hat and Clogs.
Hope you win it, Hat.
I'm gonna read this one real quick here from Justified Masagany. I kind of felt this way too during my soul searching day. I would feel bad just kind of messing with somebody's business.
You know what? I'm gonna surprise you again. Okay, I'm kind of okay with the IRS getting in there and getting tax cheats because the number of fraudulent bullshit. Now, maybe it's because I was building up to the housing crisis, but man, for every legit ran business, there's
a lot of bullshit.
8 or 9. There was that 9 fraudulent bullshit. Now, of course, they weren't making any money, but man, your small business owners and even your regular borrowers, they're always lying. They're always trying to cheat. They don't pay you back. They need a loan extension. It's like, why don't you work the damn job? So I'm not. Sales tax would solve all this. We wouldn't have to worry about it.
You're not wrong.
But it's not this black and white, oh, the businessman and rich people are all just squeaky clean individuals. It's like, no, there's a lot of douchebags out there too who are just trying to not pay their taxes.
You're right. I'm not going to dispute that people, honestly, dude, most people cheat. Like, you're not going to get this reference, but prior to now, they can get paid. Prior to when college athletes could get paid, you think they really would recruit these guys and not pay them under the table?
No, I get it. Yeah. I just, this simple world of, the small business owner, the average small business owner is an idiot and a moron. They're just idiots and morons.
Yeah. I hate to confirm that. I like this comment from Scott. What we would bring is from the sole practitioner side is reason and logic. A lot of the folks immediately go to the IRS with zero context to what is ordinary and necessary business. It's actually really true. A lot of people would just say, Clary, your new poker table, put that as a write-off and we'll worry about it later. That's
I don't want to worry about it later. Yeah. There's no worry.
Exactly. It was just a joke.
All nice.
When I text you comments like that, it's just a joke. Okay.
You know what happens in 9 days?
9 days. Oh, are you going to pay your Q4 taxes?
I can pay my Q4 taxes and not worry about it for the rest of the year.
Boys and girls, the Q4 taxes are due January 15th, 2024. And Clary wants to pay them before.
You want to worry about it for 4 months? Go ahead. I'm not worrying about it. I got a colonoscopy last month and I got my teeth cleaned yesterday. I have nothing to worry about.
I'll bet you my dentist is better than yours.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. You got a pretty cool dentist.
You're right, Scott. You can have a side hustle, just not accounting or tax in a paid position. I think a channel like this would still be a problem because you're talking about taxes and accounting. So, yeah. Congrats to Giga Zerp. I'm 1 test away from CPA in my 20s. The job posting was pretty attractive. Take it. If you pass that CPA, you're going to jump in the GS scale. You get all kinds of experience. and then you can start your own practice and
And
use
you,
their own secret
yeah,
skills.
and you can go work in the IRS and work in DC and get all that Democrat pussy. Oh man, be lectured about how you're like oppressing people or oh, I'd do it. Oh no, this
Remember,
could be a girl actually. I don't know. Gigas are.
well, the other thing is these are not just DC positions. Keep that in mind. It's
Mhm.
nationwide. Yeah.
Vegas fun guy, $5, longtime fan of Cappy, first time super chat. Just started studying for the enrolled agent QBO. What's QBO?
QuickBooks Online
Oh, QuickBooks
certification.
Online.
Yeah.
As a boring engineer, paid musician, love the life changing advice. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, if you're a musician and you live in Vegas, maybe it's a former friend of Clary's who we don't talk to anymore, who I was a big fan of, but
No, that he wasn't an engineer.
that's right.
Yeah.
He sure knew a lot about the system.
Did he ever tell you about libertarianism? Have you told you about our Lord and Savior? Did he tell you about the evils of central banking? Did you hear about the Jekyll Island?
Clary, I texted you this earlier. Exactly 3 years ago, this very day, you, me, and Atham spent the entire day hiking in Zion.
I got the picture at Zion.
You got
It
that?
popped up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look at these guys. Yep.
Yeah.
Good
Not only
time.
was that my first time meeting that libertarian genius, but I also met Atham for the very first time that trip. So it was a lot of fun for me. Shout out to Big Angry Phil. Evening to you, sir. He does a channel where he plays old school video games and curses the whole time, so I'm entertained by it. I got to know him.
I gotta watch that. Big Angry Phil.
You should. I got to know him through Bacon. He's on late while you're asleep. He's on the West Coast. Johnny Bravo correctly says $20 is $20. That's Clary's position. Hey, I respect it. So Chunky Gecko says, I've been passed up for a black woman who knew nothing. Yeah.
It only goes so far.
Yeah.
It only goes so far. And then but then you get out and you got to join the 1099 superior race anyway.
And it is superior.
Mm-hmm. The real Uncle Hector, $2. The IRS sucks, but getting married sucks even more.
Neither of us would know.
He's the first. Go on my channel and look up real life marriage case number 1. That was Uncle Hector, and it is a nightmare. What that
I can do you one further. The real Uncle Hector is actually a client of mine now.
Oh, really?
And exchanging emails. Yeah.
Okay.
He is on the path of possibly doing what I do. And
okay, good.
The real Uncle Hector, I got your email today. We should chat sometime because I do want to be helpful. I don't know if my last email was really all that helpful, but we'll chat. Thanks for the super chat.
No, DJ Aftershock, $2. All of the ritzy Republicans live Great Falls. Is that the fancy?
Great Falls, Virginia is one of the probably the wealthiest freaking neighborhood outside of the Manhattan and San Francisco.
Okay.
So last thing is I just want to give a shout out to Bacon because the goddamn Bacon goes on Friday. So tomorrow night, it's always around 8:40, 8:35 my time. That's Central Time. So listen to the goddamn Bacon.
Yeah,
he always has a motley crew on there.
Don't listen to it at night when you're trying to fall asleep. He gets the Alabama boys in there, and they're like, it's very loud.
When you have engaged in certain substances occasionally, that show is extremely entertaining, and I'll just leave it at that.
It is.
Clary, would you like to any final thoughts about our topic tonight? I mean, what else can we say?
Good talk. I go there and make your money. I think for those of you, if you are interested in that career and you choose to apply, please go in with the right mindset that it is a job. It is not your life. You make the money and you get out of there. Let LaDasha think she's going to be queen bee with her MBA, and you talk to the hand. She's going to get all the rich people money, and she could go get promoted. Because I got to imagine the higher up you get, the worse it gets, like politics-wise and all that. Go in there, make your money, save your money. Like, just buckle down for 4 years. I'm not saying don't have any fun, but buckle down, get your money, and then you never have to deal with that crap ever again. And then you're off to bigger and better things than a career at the IRS. Alex Patino, trucker and Latino agent in the field. It's been a long time. Cheers. Well, you were here earlier this morning on my channel, I think.
Oh, was he? Well, good to see
Alex is always there. He's like God. He's everywhere. He's just. I think between him and Atham, I don't know who's always there. I think Alex is, for a guy who drives truck, he's awfully on the internet a lot of times. So,
Wonder how the kid's doing.
Tornado chase again.
Yeah.
Goddamn bacon for 556. Will this help Cappy get his Pokeball? Asking for a friend. Chad, why will it not help me get Pokeball?
Well, Clary gets half of the super chats.
No. Let's say I got it all.
Yeah? Is there
Let's
no
say
good Pokeball places?
there's no Pokeball. There's
Really?
none.
Nowhere?
Nowhere. No, we got a ramen place that's very average. But there's no I don't think there's a Pokeball in the entire state of South Dakota.
Can you even get good sushi out there?
You can. There's a sushi place that's been out here for 20 years now. And there are other sushi places. So you can get good sushi out here, but no Pokeball. You cannot get Pokeball.
Clary, I cannot think of a better way to end this show.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're correct. What is it? You know what it is?
I'm looking right now. It just says super. I can't see it, man.
You can't see it.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the farting cat.
The farting cat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for a mature chemical engineering major to hire who's into farting cats and Mexican poop, may I recommend our good friend Atham Eldecua.
You know what Mr. Atham did? He had to drive diagonally overnight through the entire state of Wyoming just to get to South Dakota to see us.
Which is more than what you did. You just hopped on a plane and
I
don't want to come
here
anymore. Dude? It's so boring.
I've been how many times? I've been twice.
You've been there twice. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, thank you. Oh, well, Alex.
You get $5. See, when I'm taking a break or driving, this is all I do if I'm home. Man, doing other stuff, so driving a truck can be an awesome job. So there you go. Everyone should become truck drivers so they can donate us money. I think that's a great idea.
Well, thanks, Alex. And Atham has a very astute point here. He says,
yes.
Yeah. And then he says this, which is, yeah, dude, I could not believe you and your GF handled that. That was like fucking wow.
I ran into another buddy. I mentioned Rawlins, Wyoming, and the guy's eyes were like, oh my God. And I said, well, he says, I had a buddy who got stationed out there as a forestry ranger, and he lasted like a year. He's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. So yeah, and Atham's right. We did go hiking right after that.
The two of you are a trooper. I was really impressed by that. So Clary, thank you so much. I know you were sick, so I really appreciate you, rallying and being able to do this. Want to plug anything or
new book is going to be coming out here probably in about a month or so. And I end up going to bed at 3 a.m. You guys need to go to bed. So yeah, by the way, when these two idiots show up at your house, just to let you know, they're going to and they turn into 13-year-old boys and they laugh at the dumbest shit. And then you're like,
Clary, I've got a confession for you. You know what the source of entertainment by the end of the evening was?
Was me asking if you guys were going to sleep anytime soon.
It was you.
Yeah, I know it was me. I'm aware.
So don't do that because it'll just pour gasoline on the fire. And then
dude, a piece of paper could have just been sitting on the table. You guys would have laughed at it. That's a bunch of giggly girls is what you were.
All right, Clary, thank you so much. I
didn't even get to promote my stuff before you.
You go right ahead.
A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. That'll be coming out about a month. Okay. Where I recreated an all-female economy based on government data, and it's a shit show. So if you it's interesting, and let's just say the number surprised even me. So keep an eye out for that.
All righty, you guys. I may do a stream next week. We'll see if something interesting comes up. And in the meantime, Clary, we should hang out when?
Probably soon.
Soon.